Hey guys, it's Trish from Trish's Card Club, recorded live from Orlando. I'm a little late. I got busy watching a story about volcanoes. Yeah, you never know what's going to go on a Sunday in my house. How are you guys? I hope you had a good day. I had a really good day. I had a fantastic golf game. Fantastic. Phil Mickelson won. He hasn't won in a long time, and he's the oldest man to win a PGA tournament. He's 50 years and 11 months. And I just like to say for the record, that is not old. I am older than that, and I'm not old, so therefore he's not old. But exciting for him, having not won for a long time. So that's my golf update for the day. Just thank you guys. 3 more months and we'll be back to football. Can hardly wait. Can hardly wait. All right, so what you have in front of you is the card, the tools that we're going to be using for the card tonight. Flowers of Friendship and the Punch, our brand new bundle and our brand new 21-22 catalog. So we're going to make a card using that. And we're going to use some blends as well. So I'm excited about that. Before we get to that, though, we're going to do a helpful hint. The last couple of videos, I've been doing some hints on what to do if you're a brand new stamper. Things that you may know if you've been stamping for a while, or you may not know if you're just new to stamping, or maybe it's a refresher course. So I've covered how to cut basic cardstock into card bases, how to cut layers for your cardstock. We've covered how to put a label on a red rubber stamp. Tonight we're going to review what to do if you have a beautiful piece of 12 by 12 designer series paper and you want to cut it up for card layers. For card layers, not card fronts, card layers. So first thing you want to do if you have a 12 by 12 piece of paper is you have to figure out the direction of how you want your card to go. Now these are flowers and they look great going this correct way, but they look stupid if you put them upside down or if you put them sideways. So we want to get, and we will get, 6 card layers out of this one sheet of paper, and we want our card layers to be in this direction. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it sideways and I'm going to take it and cut it in half. Now I'm cutting it in half this way so my card layers are going in the right direction. So first thing you do is cut it 6 inches down the middle and just be aware of the direction. Now you're going to have other paper that's not going to matter. Let me give you an example. This paper doesn't matter which direction we cut it. It would be fine. So now you have 2 pieces of 6 by 6 designer series paper. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your designer series paper and you're going to cut it at 4 inches. And it's doubled. I have the 2 pieces here, you guys. You can see I have the 2 pieces. So I'm going to cut 4 inches and then I'm going to cut 4 inches again. And now I have my 6 card front layers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, on a card base, this is not going to match, but I'm just grabbing it for you. On a card base, they fit perfect in width, but see how they're too long? We want them to be too long because what you're going to do is you're going to take, this is 6 inches now by 4 inches. You're going to flip it to the side and you're going to cut it down to 5 1/4. And you're going to keep this little strip of paper right here. Because what you're going to do with that strip of paper is pretend this is the right color card base. Just use your imagination. You'll put that on for your front. See, it's going in the right direction. And then you'll take your inside card and you'll put this on it. And you will put that in there. And that's how you'll cut up your 12 by 12 designer series paper down to 6 layers for cards. I hope I was clear with that. If you have any questions, you know you could always message me. But remember, first cut it to 6 inches, then 4, 4, and 4. And then your last cut is going to be taking your 6-inch piece, cutting it down to 5 1/4. And then you'll have this little 3/4 inch left over. And that's what you'll keep for the inside card. All right, so that's another basic step in if you're new to stamping or if you haven't stamped a lot, that's just a way to use your paper. That's a really good tip for you guys that got your designer series paper paper shares. I had a couple of ladies pick up over the weekend, so thank you. I'm glad you guys have it. We have a few more that will get theirs at the next class in June. The paper is gorgeous. As a matter of fact, the paper that I cut and showed for you is part of the Designer Series paper. All right, so that's that. Let's get something more interesting on the screen than a cutter. Okay, this is my layer. This layer is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to put a ribbon on it. So I am putting my ribbon down as a marker so I can see where I want to stamp. Let's review the stamps. This Flower of Friendship stamp set has this beautiful flower, and it has these individual flowers, a couple leaves, and some really great word stamps. But the cool part about it is, I'm tilting at you guys in hopes that the reflection isn't too bad. The cool part is it has a matching punch. So this flower and both of these leaves, you can punch out of this punch. And I love punches, so I'm very excited about that. So let's put that to the side. I'm just putting down my ribbon so I can space correctly. I have already put my big stamp on a block, and remember, when a stamp is big like that, it's always better to leave the block on the table and ink it up this way. And even when I ink it, you guys, you can see how pretty that is because it's a nice thin line, really fine line, pretty stamp. So I'm going to do that. Oops, I don't know what that is. And I'm going to stamp it kind of at an angle like that. Give it a little push. Hope I didn't smudge it when I was putting it down. Lift it up. Perfect. Put that to the side because we won't need that for a bit. Now, I'm going to use the word out of that stamp set, little card, big thanks, because I think that's a great little stamp. So I'm going to use that as my word stamp. And I'm going to stamp that right here, like that. Ta-da! Now, I'm going to use some blends. And I have 2 different colors. So I have Highland Heather Dark and Highland Heather Light. So first we're going to do the light. I'm trying to think if I have to, I don't have to color them all in. I'm trying to think if I do or I don't. I will show you 2 steps. So I'm not a blending expert. I am just a let's get color on the paper. So keep that in mind. There are other demonstrators out there who are blending experts. You can Google them. Google Stampin' Up! Blends or YouTube Stampin' Up! Blends, and you'll probably get some really incredible demonstrators. I am just a kind of a simple color. My thing is get the flower colored, and Stampin' Up! Gives us a few tricks on how to shadow, and so I'll show you that. So I'm just using and blends are alcohol-based markers, and they bleed through, like see the bleeding through. So you want to have something underneath so that it doesn't bleed through. And I am working on staying on camera, you guys. So now I have this metal ruler that I can feel under my arms, so I know I'm in view. So I'm hoping that I can get and stay in view. We're always working on that little challenge. So there's my 3 flowers, a little miss up here. And then you take the dark and see the lines that are in the stamp. Stampin' Up! Tells you that's where you're going to shadow. So I'm just literally drawing with no artistic talent necessary. I'm just tracing those lines like that. So you can get the depth of the 2 colors. For my leaves, I am using my light granny apple green and dark granny apple green. I happen to be in love with granny apple green. I love that as a color. I just think it's one of the happiest greens we've had. It reminds me of an old green we used to have called Green Galore. Now, if you've been stamping with Stampin' Up! For a while, you'll know that color. It's very old. Some of you guys listening will recognize that color, I think. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the leaves like this. And then I'm going to take the dark, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the flowers. I'm going to just follow the line that Stampin' Up! Already put in there and give my leaves some depth. But I'm not worrying about how being perfect or anything like that. So that card looks pretty darn good just like that. But it's a little bit flat. Now, one of the cool things about being a demonstrator is Stampin' Up! Does different, well, they used to do them in person before COVID, and next year we'll go back to gathering in person. But since COVID, they've doing stuff online. So this cards, this stamp set was demoed online, and one of the ladies that demoed it did a really fun trick. So I'm going to show you that trick. So keep the card base in mind. Now I just have a scrap piece of white paper, and I have the bigger flower stamp, which I'm going to ink up. Tap, tap, tap. Stamp it. Stay in view. Very good. Very good. And then I'm going to really quick color it. I'm only going to color one leaf because you'll see. You will see. Pretend I colored them all. Just pretend. And then I'm going to take my darker one and go like that. Then I'm going to take my punch. So pretend they're all colored. But I won't keep you waiting to watch me color. You already had to watch me color all those. And I'm going to line this up. It lines up just perfect. I'm going to punch it out. Excuse all the mess. Now, pretend all those leaves were colored. Then I'm going to take my scissors. And I'm going to cut across, and then I'm going to cut this way. And then with this one thing, I am going to cut off the extra white. I'm only doing it for this card. You don't have to do this every time you use the punch. I'm just doing it for just this card. I'm cutting off the extra white around the edges. I love fussy cutting. Some people don't like to fussy cut, but I love to fussy cut. Then I'm going to bring my card back in. And I'm going to take a dimensional, if I can find one on my desk, which I can, I just can't get it in my hand. I'm going to put it on the back of my card. Let me see. It's all messy. I like my screen to be a little bit neater. Okay. And if I haven't said hello to everybody that's joining me, hello, I think I forgot that part. I get so excited. Then I'm going to take my what is this called? My petal, and I'm going to put it on my card. So now, if you can see it, you guys, it's dimensionalized. Isn't that cool? So that's just one. And then I have a whole bunch more that I've already cut. I'm going to do this one. That looks really good. And then I'm going to do, on the big flower, I'm going to do 3. I'm going to do one on here. And you know what? These, I messed up. I didn't keep the order, so they're not going to probably match exactly, but it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to do one there, and I'm going to do one on the top. Now, I don't know how this plays on film, but it's so pretty in person. Thanks, Judy. She says it's really cool, so I'm thinking she gets it. She sees the dimension of it. It's really, really pretty. So then what I'm going to do to finish off the card, I'm going to flip it over, take my adhesive, and go all 4 sides like that. Then I'm going to take this ribbon. Now, do you want to see how I got that bow right there? So easy, you guys. Watch this. Just take a piece of ribbon. It's called a flat bow, and you literally just tie a knot in it. Literally. It's not magic. You just want to keep it so it's what do I want to say? In the middle. And just don't make it so tight. Just keep it a little bit looser. And then I'm going to put that on the card here. And since I have glue, I can put a little on here. It'll catch it. Oops, it didn't. I'll press it down harder. Put a little on the bottom. Put a little over here. Now, if you ask me about this ribbon, I'm going to confess it's retired, but we have tons and tons of current ribbon in the catalog, so don't panic. There's plenty to choose from. In the new colors even has ribbon as well. So I use Highland Heather for my blends. I'm going to use a layer of Gorgeous Grape, and I cut this layer to be 1/8, which I never do. So let's see if I can get it to even go on. Yeah. I rarely ever cut anything that tight. I usually do a 1/4 inch. Oop, my bow just did not cooperate right there. One moment, please. Let me fix it. Let me see if I can get this thing to lay down correctly. It has a mind of its own tonight. There we go. There we go. Doesn't that look pretty? That little tiny layer around. So that's a 1/8 inch layer, which I very rarely do. I would never do it for class, you guys, because it takes me so long to measure it. But since this is a one-shot deal, I'm going with it. And now I'm using my base to be Highland Heather. And it's the same thing. It's just a 1 inch around, 1/8 of an inch, sorry, 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And there, my friends, is the card. Super, super pretty in person. Very, very easy to do. There's, as I showed you, the stamp, you don't have to cut it, but to get this card to be like that, it came out really pretty. If you Google Flowers of Friendship, Stampin' Up, you will see tons and tons of card ideas that are super pretty, and you will love them. And you can make them too. And what do we do here? We make it and we mail it. That's what we do. So that's my card for tonight. I showed you. Oh, you know what I want to do? Since I did retired stamps, I'm going to do retired bling. And I'm going to put some bling on here. Let's see if I can get it off. Come on, Trish. Come on. Yeah. Normally I just do this with my fingernail. I'm going fancy tonight and it's not working. Let me just use my fingernail. That's going to be so much easier. We'll do 3 up there. We'll do 2 down here. Because things done in there. Ooh, well, that adds a lot of pop to it as well. Good, I like that. All right, so that's my Sunday presentation. Showed you guys how to cut paper, a 12 by 12. You get 6 card fronts, card layers. I'm not sure how I want to say that because I don't want to confuse you. You get 6 card layers to put on card bases if you cut it the right way. And we went over that and we made a really pretty card with Flowers of Friendship. And that's it. That's my Sunday night presentation. I always am grateful that you guys watch. I will review this and then I'll upload it to YouTube. So please feel free to like or subscribe. Don't I sound professional, you guys? Or whatever you do on your social media, and share it with your friends and family and anyone else. And that's it. You guys have a really good Sunday night. Have a good couple days to Monday. And I will catch you guys on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Make it and mail it. Thanks, guys.